Sean Diddy Combs has always been a larger-than-life figure in hip-hop. He's not only a master producer, but also a powerhouse businessman commanding great influence. Over the years, his wealth and dominance have made him someone you wouldn't want to mess with. But that doesn't mean everyone's been afraid to challenge him. In fact, some rappers have gone head-to-head with Diddy, and they didn't flinch. The last rapper's beef with Diddy was a shocker for me. So let's look at a few notable artists who've stood tall against one of the biggest hip-hop Mongols. When you talk about iconic hip-hop beefs, you can't ignore Tupac and Diddy. Their feud is legendary, rooted in popular East Coast versus West Coast rivalry that took over the hip-hop scene in the 90s. The tension between Tupac and Diddy exploded in November of 1994 when Tupac was shot multiple times during a robbery at Quaid Studios in New York City. Although he survived, the incident left him physically and emotionally scarred. Soon after, Tupac openly accused Diddy, along with Biggie Smalls, the Notorious B.I.G., and their label Bad Boy Records, of setting him up. While no concrete evidence ever surfaced to prove these accusations, Tupac firmly believed his former friends had betrayed him. This attack shattered his trust in Biggie, someone who he once considered a brother, and fueled the fire of the East Coast versus West Coast rivalry that had been brewing. If there's one track that perfectly sums up Tupac's attitude towards Diddy and Bad Boy Records, it's Hit 'Em Up. Released in 1996, this is easily one of the most savage diss tracks in hip-hop history. Tupac didn't just call out Biggie, he went straight for Diddy, the Bad Boy crew, and anyone affiliated with them. It wasn't suitable either. The song was packed with venom and rage, with Tupac unapologetically calling them out for the alleged betrayal. What's interesting is how Diddy responded, or rather didn't respond, to Tupac's constant attacks. While Tupac came at him hard with accusations, diss tracks, and public disses, Diddy mostly stayed quiet. Diddy has since maintained that there was no real personal beef between him and Tupac, claiming that outside forces escalated the rivalry beyond control. Despite Tupac's belief that Diddy and Biggie were involved in the 1994 shooting, Diddy has denied any involvement and expressed admiration for Tupac as an artist. Unfortunately, the feud between Tupac and Diddy became more than just a lyrical battle. The East Coast versus West Coast rivalry spiraled into real-life violence. Tupac was murdered in Las Vegas in September of 1996, and just 6 months later, Biggie was killed in Los Angeles. Both murders remain unsolved to this day, and while there's no definitive proof linking their deaths to the feud, there are still some rumors swirling around about Diddy's connection to it all. If you know anything about 50 Cent, you know he's never one to shy away from a feud, and Diddy is no exception. The two have exchanged shots for years, with 50 going as far back as 2006 when he released his diss track, The Bomb, where he implied that Diddy had something to do with Biggie's 1997 murder, an accusation that Diddy has constantly denied. The beef between 50 Cent and Diddy wasn't as explosive as some of the more infamous hip-hop feuds, but it still had its fair share of drama. The friction between 50 Cent and Diddy began in the mid-2000s. It started with 50 Cent being highly critical of Diddy's approach to music and business. 50, known for his boldness and willingness to say whatever he feels, took aim at Diddy for not promoting his artists properly. In interviews and on social media, 50 suggests that Diddy was more focused on his own brand than helping artists on Bad Boy Records reach their full potential. A key point of tension was Diddy's handling of the late Notorious B.I.G.'s legacy. 50 Cent often insinuated that Diddy had been riding on Biggie's coattails for years, continuing to profit off of Biggie's work without creating new hits of his own. In one of his many interviews, 50 hinted that Diddy hadn't really made anything groundbreaking in music since Biggie passed, which was a direct jab at Diddy's relevance in hip-hop. While the beef simmered for years, it took a more public turn when 50 Cent decided to go after Diddy's Ciroc vodka brand. In the mid-2010s, 50 launched his own vodka line, Effin' Vodka, and began actively promoting it. What better way to promote a product than to take shots at the competition? And for 50, the competition was Diddy's Ciroc. 50 took to social media to bash Diddy's Ciroc, calling it a puffy juice, and claiming that Effin' was a far superior product. He also made fun of Diddy's partnership with Ciroc, suggesting that Diddy was more concerned with dancing in commercials and being flashy than actually being involved in the business. The vodka war became a big part of their rivalry, with 50 using his larger-than-life persona to create buzz around his brand while simultaneously taking digs at Diddy. As with most 50 Cent beefs, things eventually got personal. Over the years, 50 Cent has made several remarks insinuating that Diddy might not be as straight as he presents himself to the world. In several interviews, 50 implied that Diddy might have some questionable tendencies tendencies, though he never directly said anything too explicit. Things, however, took a serious turn in 2024 when the Department of Homeland Security raided Diddy's house amidst quite a number of lawsuits alleging sexual abuse and trafficking, which Diddy has denied. Not one to let a moment pass, 50 was quick to comment, revealing that he had been suspicious of Diddy's behavior for a while, and he didn't stop there. 50 announced a Netflix documentary on Diddy's legal troubles, claiming he had a lot more to say about the situation. Their feud has been a roller coaster, but 50 Cent is still standing firm, unafraid to take aim at one of hip-hop's biggest names. The beef between Lox and Diddy is one of those hip-hop disputes that comes up when you talk about the industry's behind-the-scenes business drama. It all goes back to the late 90s when the Lox, Jadakiss, Styles P, and Chic Louch were signed to Bad Boy Records, which was run by Diddy. While the Lox came up as street rappers, Bad Boy was more into the flashy, radio-friendly sound. The problem started when the Lox felt like they were being boxed in by that image Diddy was pushing. They had come up through the underground, known for their gritty street style, but on Bad Boy, they were doing songs like If You Think I'm Jiggy, which seemed way more commercial than what they were about. On top of that, they had issues with their contract, feeling like they weren't seeing enough of the money they were earning for the label. Things came to head in the early 2000s when the Lox launched the Free the Lox campaign, demanding Diddy release them from their contract. This wasn't just on the low either. They went on Hot 97 in New York and aired their grievances live, calling out Diddy for holding them back. Diddy clapped back, saying it was all business, and if they wanted out of their contract, they'd have to pay a hefty fee. There were some heated moments, but eventually they squashed the beef with Diddy, letting them go to Rough Riders. Eminem has never been one to shy away from controversy, and his long-standing beef with Diddy is proof. For years, Eminem has taken shots at Diddy in his music, with the first diss dating all the way back to 1996 in his song Effing Crazy, where he rapped about spraying Puffy with mace. No, not the rapper, but actual mace. He kept the jabs coming, like in 2000's Marshall Mathers and I'm Back, where he unapologetically called out Diddy. But things took an interesting turn in 2018, when Eminem dropped Kill Shots, a diss track aimed at Machine Gun Kelly. In it, he brought Diddy into the mix with a line about Diddy putting out the hit that got Tupac killed. The line sparked tons of conversation, but as always, Eminem didn't back down. Even in his 2020 track Godzilla, he referenced Diddy again, poking fun at the infamous Making the Band cheesecake incident, where Diddy made his crew walk miles to get him a slice of cheesecake. Fast forward to 2024, and Eminem once again took aim at Diddy with the release of his song Fuel from his album The Death of Slim Shady. Fans quickly picked up the clever wordplay when Eminem rapped, "Wait, he didn't just spell the word rapper and leave out a P, did he?" The line not only spelled out rapper in a way that implied raper, but also sounded like he was asking, P, did he? A clear nod to Diddy. The subtle yet brutal lyric had everyone buzzing, further fueling the already long-standing tension between the two. Now, not many people remember the time J. Cole got into it with Diddy back in 2013. It all went down at an MTV VMAs after party right after Kendrick Lamar dropped his infamous Control verse, where he called out all his rap peers and declared himself the king of New York, even though he's from LA. Diddy apparently wasn't too happy with Kendrick's bold claim and tried to confront him at the party. Rumor has it Diddy even tried to pour a drink on Kendrick's head, though that part's been disputed. Cole, who was nearby, stepped in to defend Kendrick, and that's when things got heated. A scuffle broke out between their crews, but it never turned into a full-blown feud. Cole later referenced the incident in his 2021 song Let Go My Hand, rapping, "My last scrap was with Puff Daddy, who would have thought it?" Cole's team downplayed the issue at the time, but years later the rapper himself confirmed that something went down, even if it wasn't as serious as people initially thought. So while Diddy might be one of the most powerful figures in the music industry, he's not untouchable. From Tupac to 50 Cent and Eminem to J. Cole, plenty of artists have taken their shots and stood their ground against him. So what do you think? Which of these rappers put Diddy in his place? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on our next video.